Hey guys, I've been doing some thinking as to how all of this is going to unfold with Trump impeachment and the border wall and the Brexit and the France stuff, and I think I've kind of made some progress in why everything is the way it is. And I think the border wall all along was just one of the ways Donald Trump was going to get kicked out and going to be expelled from the White House, because they were always going to create something over it. I just want you to watch this about 45 seconds in, and there you can see they're trying to propagandize the public and already set the scene for who's going to get blamed, because they literally say the word blame.
Look, I happen to think that walls work. I've seen them work in America, Israel, Bulgaria, Malaysia, but I don't think that's the issue here. I think the issue here is, well, let me put it another way. I think we're going to have a shutdown.
You do?
And I do, and I think we're going to have a shutdown for two reasons. Number one, President Trump does not look to me like he was bluffing or is bluffing. And number two, I don't think Speaker Pelosi is going to agree to anything because she's worried about her speakership.
And are you comfortable if there's a shutdown next Friday because over this border wall funding?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think the American people look to us up here to try to make things work.
And who gets blamed if there's a shutdown? Do you think that
There. Who gets blamed? And of course, we know this whole thing is to set up Donald Trump, set him up to be blamed for everything. Because, you know, it was him that shut down the government because over a wall, and what they're going to say is it was the government shutdown, the instability that allowed terrorists, and now I think they're going to say they're Iranian sleeper cells. Iranian sleeper cell terrorists armed with North Korean bombs allowed them in to the country and snuck in the major US cities and planted them. And I think in Britain we're going to have our equivalent of the shutdown in America. So again, it's the same narrative here. During our political turmoil, Iranian sleeper cells snuck in and planted North Korean bombs. And now I was saying last time, I don't really know how we connect terrorists, North Korea, EMPs, and financial collapse, but now I get it. And now I see how the whole wall thing was to blame Donald Trump all along, and was to get it so they could turn America against him. Even the kind of the supporters, you know, the major Trump supporters that think he's the savior. And so yeah, and the winter solstice, I never really thought about this, but the reason, the obvious reason, like the winter solstice is the peak of winter. So of course, if you're going to do this, you choose the peak of winter. And I've never actually really connected or made that realization that, hold on a minute, no, winter solstice is the peak of winter. So why would they choose any other time? Because if you chose a time before the peak, you would be missing out on the coldest days, and they would have time to prepare for the coldest days of winter beforehand. And if you miss out on some days after, like if you do it after the winter solstice, then you're missing out on like kind of like days that can kill them at the peak of winter. You know what I mean? So from an elite's perspective, the winter solstice makes perfect sense. Why would you choose any different? So that's why we see. I've shown some predictive programming. The Silent Night, the Ubisoft Division game, that was just before Christmas, and the Be Ready, I'm thinking, is the winter solstice. Now we know why. It's definitely this year, because the stock markets are just so kind of dropping like every week so much, and they're going to have to do something soon. So I just had a bit to say on this. I'm trying to think where they're going to go with this, how they're going to connect this border wall funding and Brexit and France stuff to North Korea terrorists and Iran. Well, now we know. So thanks for listening.